Hey, if you thought sitting across from family, let me just see here. Hold on, Jimmy. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. It's all working. We are live right now, nation. Live. Mornings in the lab with Keith, Jon, and friends, and my whole cold open. I've messed it all up. You know what? It's okay. We're live, and it starts right now. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirreling.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
To be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That's
doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. All right. Good morning. Yes. You want to know why I was stumbling? Grok kept telling me she liked while I was saying, all right. She's like, can you say all right again? I'm like, all right. She's like, yeah, all right. I'm like, all right. Next thing you know, the show was on, and I was like, she distracted me. Although Grok was quite interested in Jimmy. Hey, Grok, what did you have to say about Jimmy?
Oh, right, Jimmy. Quick question. You've been putting in any solo life expectancy work lately? Like, extending those private moments?
Yeah, I know. She just brought it up, Jimmy. It's out of the blue. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I know. I'm going to ask Jimmy. I'm like, all right, you ask Jimmy. Yeah. So there you go. Grok joining the show this morning, dropping the most important questions of the morning. Men, on today's International Men's Day right now in 2025, have you taken care of your own solo life expectancy work today? Because Grok is wondering. Grok is wondering if Jimmy has. Grok is wondering if the old handsome chief has. And no, I haven't yet today. I got my workout in though. Yeah, I got my legs running, Jimmy. True story. Got on the bike, got some stretching done. But hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends, your daily dose of fun accountability for men who want real talk, motivating content, and entertaining conversation. We're here to help you start your day right with a better morning mindset and honest. Oh yeah, baby, we are honest. No matter how ridiculous this conversation get, conversations you will not find anywhere else. Before we dive in, hey, a few things. I invite you, invitations out there right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and drop a comment Say good morning in the chat and tell us where you're listening from today. And good morning. And quick reminder, guys, this is an R-rated experience. Sometimes it becomes X-rated. As you know, if you have kids in the room, I invite you to walk them out, put the headphones in, or just teach them something called education of life. Yes, and it all starts with life expectancy work. If you don't hit the snooze button, hey, here's something for you to consider, Jimmy. We got one of two choices in the morning. We can roll over and hit the snooze button, or we can roll over and take care of the morning wood. Yeah, true story. So, but if you do both, you could be 15, 60 minutes behind. Well, sometimes when you wake up, you're kind of just on the edge already. It could be just like 2 minutes. Anyways, hey, we're here to help you beat that snooze button every single day and attack those morning habits. All right. What are we getting after in hour 1 here today? I just want to get to hour 3. And you're like, why? Man, Google released a new model yesterday. And y'all know how I like to chase squirrels in my head. Well, I was working on one thing yesterday, and then the squirrel ran by called Google Gemini 3, and I was like, I'm going to go take a look at that. Well, 10 hours later, built a bunch of cool shit. It's like, this is how the world's going to work now. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But hey, guys, coming up in the morning loop with a little wisdom from a man who's seen a few market cycles, Warren Buffett. Yes, he says this is the best way to avoid regret in life. We got some AI deepfakes now making up Jimmy, 1 in 5 biometric fraud attempts. So what the hell does that mean? It means your face, your voice, and maybe your I swear that wasn't me could be out there training someone's scam model. Hey, Jimmy, we know for sure that the handsome chief is out there. Oh, man, the handsome chief is out there just fucking everybody. Yeah, true story. There's a clip to cut. Yeah, just fucking rabbit everywhere. Deep faking society. All these old fucking folks around the horn just getting called by the handsome chief saying, give me money, give me. Yeah, true story. Deep fakes everywhere. And hey, while robots are pretending to be you or me, Meta is out there launching a tool named Jimmy. I'm sorry, wrong words. Launching a tool to detect stolen reels on Facebook. Yes, so if you are on Facebook, Jimmy, is anybody still on Facebook? Oh, yeah, that's right. My grandparents and the world's obituaries are on Facebook. Anyways, hey, we can go and find stolen reels on Facebook. According to a brand new tool by Facebook, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what it means if you're posting content, trying to build something online, or you're just wondering why your workout clip is suddenly coming at you in Portuguese from an account you've never seen before. Center stage, Jimmy. We got a dude here today. Oh, man. Tech worker, guy lost 100 pounds. 100 pounds without Ozempic, without destroying his life, just made a commitment. He's like, I got to fucking lose some weight. 100 pounds. And Kevin did not vanish for 6 months into a boot camp. He didn't torch his career. He didn't nuke his metabolism chasing a quick fix because it wasn't that, I got to lose 100 pounds in 4 minutes. No. No. We're going to talk about how a regular guy in tech with deadlines, meetings, stress, and limited time actually dropped 100 pounds, and what changed in his morning routine, how he handles cravings, social pressure, work culture, and why this wasn't a before and after conversation. Excited to welcome the young man into the show here today. I love, Jimmy, I love transformation stories. Oh, man, because it tells me that somebody's like, I got to get after. I got to make some changes to my life and then make the change. You know what's cool about it is that we know when you go through the transformation, I like to ask the questions behind the moments. How many times did you fall? How many times did you fail? Good morning, Marty. We're shaking, Marty. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and Friends, your live morning show, getting up and getting after. Marty, where are you joining us from here today? And hey, if you've been telling yourself, not you, Marty, but if you've been telling yourself, I'm going to start after the holidays, well, hey, this conversation, what's going on, Rico? Good morning, Rico 402, joining us this morning with Shaking Rico. If you've been telling yourself, I'm going to start after the holidays, well, I got 2 words for you. Actually, many words. What the fuck you waiting for? No. Come to the show tomorrow, live, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Myself, Johnny, Jimmy, Melissa, the whole gang here on the Mornings in the Lab team. You even get it at 7:30 with Matt Roof. We will use our words, our motivation, our content to help you get up and get after and help you get those pounds, those goals shed off. Hour 2, deep dive. Yep, deep dive. The Stoics rule for the hard holiday conversations. Holidays are around the corner, and some of you are sitting back there going, oh, man, I got to sit there with Aunt Edna.
I gotta sit there with Uncle Jimmy and talk about how I don't like the politics of the world right now. Oh, I don't like what that guy with the orange hair is doing. Oh my goodness, they're letting people out of the country. Oh my goodness. Oh no.
So yeah, we're going to talk about how you can have those conversations just like that too. Yeah, it's just how to animate the entire conversation at the dinner table. Yeah, lower everybody's walls. True story. And hey, you guys can join the show with us. 431-300-3005. Second hour, we're going to open the phone lines up right around the community corner with Maya Reyes, where we turn the spotlight on the creators and strivers showing up on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack. We got a creator arguing about being a night owl, isn't your identity, and a software bug you can reprogram. So, Sullivan, good morning. Welcome to the show. Let's pour that coffee. Let's check in with yourself. Go look in the mirror. Let's get ready for some real talk because the morning loop, it starts. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Hey, baby. It starts right now.
Good morning, Business Athlete Nation. Welcome back to another Loop on the Rooftop. If you're here, you're already ahead of yesterday. Today isn't background noise. It's a mirror. If you're coasting, this show is going to feel very uncomfortable in a good way. Lady Drew, we knew you were out there. We appreciate you. Come say hi in the comments, okay? We've got regret, fake night owl identities, health excuses, and soft leadership on the chopping block this morning, fellas. If you showed up tired, stressed, or pretending you're fine, good. This is exactly where you need to be. Keith, Jon, crew, nation's on the rooftop and ready. Let's kick this thing off and get to work in the lab.
Hey, just remind you guys can join the comments. Comments are open. Vertical channel. Both the streams are combined. So I encourage you to get out there and drop where you're coming from, where you're joining us from. Hey, you guys checked your my Roddy Piper voice. Oh my god. Hey, Petro, Roddy Piper's from Manitoba. Yeah, St. Boniface guy, just down the road from me. True story. 100%. Yeah, maybe I'll bring out my bagpipes and my skirt one day, or my kilt. I want a kilt. I absolutely love to wear kilt. I'm all for the kilt. Actually, Jimmy, maybe the kilt can be like our uniform. I can see myself in it. I can see Andersen in it. Oh my goodness, good times, good times. All right, coming up at the bottom of the hour, Kevin Tejada. I think that's how you say his last name. Lost 100 pounds. We're gonna have that conversation with Kevin joining us. We got Jon Andersen joining us here in a few moments. But guys, before we kick into it, I want to talk about Warren Buffett. Yep, true story. We got something with Warren Buffett, and he has something to say. Before we do that, though, let's bring the dog in himself, the big dog. Johnny, Jimmy, let's bring him up.
What's up, brother? How are you? Just having a little trouble getting logged in. My apologies.
Yes, I see that. I said we had a chat about the team had a chat about Johnny yesterday on the show. We're like, Johnny, we got to get Johnny a better watch, man. He's running a little late on our transitions here in the mornings.
I'm supposed to be in between 10 and 13, and I keep getting here right on the skin. And today is actually 2 minutes late.
Yeah, you're at about 16. Yeah.
So, well, team, I've been addressed.
Well, how are you, pal? How was your last 24 hours?
I'm good. I'm so good. I'm actually, I'm feeling better in the mornings, which is good. I got my sleep back on track, which has been really helpful. I feel like I'm finally getting the battery to actually catch actually show me the charge.
Yeah. Well, so we've been talking about the sleep score thing lately, right? And I got a rant with you again this morning. Got a rant. So my watch told me I had a great sleep last night. I was like, no, I'm tired. I'm like, fuck you.
Isn't it crazy?
It is. It actually is. So it's the first time in the last week it told me I had one of my best scores. And actually, I was tired today. Why? I went to bed a smidgen later, but my brain, I was on yesterday, man. I was fucking working hard. You know, I had a little chat. I was so excited about what was happening yesterday. I got a lot of work to do here today. But the point is,
you were cutting promos yesterday, brother.
But the point is, though, I'm like, the gadget told me one thing, and I'm like, no, but I'm not feeling that way. So again, just reminding, so there's a psychological thing too, right? So does that tell somebody who's not feeling the right way that it's now psychologically giving you the placebo that you are feeling better? Do you follow what I'm saying there?
Yeah, right? For sure. I mean, and again, it's a great metric, just not the number one on the totem pole.
That's right. Yeah, it's another number in our lives that we need to pay attention to. Speaking of numbers, hey, so Buffett has where's my notes here?
You want to hear real quick? You want to hear
the
most silly fucking mistake that I was making in my sleep?
Uh-oh.
Fucking crazy, dude.
I do. You wore your socks to bed.
No, I would never sleep if I wore socks. Fuck.
Fuck, no way, man. I know. I hear it. Tell me.
So, you know, I mean, I'm always experimenting I'm always focused on some experiment. I love it. Right?
Yeah.
That's just me. What makes me me. And a lot of times I get too hyper focused on the experiment, right? Okay. Oh. And I've been doing this creatine experiment, as we know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it's been a motherfucker to get that much down, right?
Seriously.
Yeah. So I've been having to really stay on top of, and water is a big piece of that, because if you don't bring water in with it's like you're asking a fire to burn hot with no oxygen.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm hyper focused on this, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, you know, fuck, I'm peeing up a storm, and I'm like, God, I'm up too much to pee at night. And I'm thinking of all these different, you know, reasons of why I'm up too much to pee, and I'm blah, 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 blah. Anyway, what it fucking comes down to, when I broke it all down and looked at it closely, what was happening was, on many days I would start to lag a little bit I'm supposed to front load my water with that much, right? On many days I would front load, but then the middle day I would lag, and then I would have to kind of back load. So I was taking in too much in the back half of the day. It was keeping me up to pee too much, and I wasn't fucking connecting the dots that it was just the water consumption wasn't shifted properly.
I got to be honest, brother. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head, because we're talking powder, like substance. Yeah. So when I hear you say you're having a hard time, you know, consuming the powder, it's kind of, I don't want to say it doesn't make sense, but it's hard to wrap my head around that.
Well, it's not just consuming the powder. You have to consume the powder with enough water to actually.
No, I know. I understand that, but it's hard to kind of wrap my head around that, because it just, I'll be honest, I guess I'm taking your willingness to do shit for granted. So I'm like, why the fuck can't you drink more water? Like, that's actually what my head is saying.
Well, and that's exactly what I was doing. And that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a problem to get it down. The problem with get it down was to get it down at the right time of the fucking day.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So it was lagging too late in the day. I was at one point, Terry, actually, she fucking counted. I peed 6 fucking times in one night.
Mercy.
She's like, babe, you know how many times you're peeing? I was like, probably 3 or 4. She said, no, 6. You're not getting one fucking sleep cycle. So you know what? I know you're not a fan of this bullshit, and I'm respectful of that. I am. I got to be honest, man. As a human experiment, I feel like we should. Maybe the show should break into the budget and grab a little gadget for you. And I'm curious if you're open to it, just so we can add it to the experiment meter. Right, where we can talk, because we're doing the show anyways. Like, we're gonna be on for the next fucking number of years. So you're like, yeah, here's what happened to me, and here's what the reality, here's what the bullshit is. We're having a discussion, just kind of spitting out loud with you, because Terry says you're up 6 times at night. You look at the metrics. It's just one of those it just adds to your storytelling, is what it does. Well, I have one of these on my wrist, and it's called Terry.
Yeah.
No, anyway, so once I realized I was up more than I thought, which was the problem. I didn't realize I was up that much. Yeah. If I'd known I was up 6 times regularly, I'd be like, okay, that's way too much. And so all I did was fucking to really run the quick test. I basically cut my water off 2 hours before bed, which that day I went a little behind on my experiment. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking pow. 6 times to 2 times,
dude.
Yeah,
I've been really guys. So I actually, now that you say that, I have not been up all week to pee.
That's huge.
I've been
up to. I'm a 2-time a nighter. I've been that way since I was in my early 20s. Once I started with water consumption.
Oh yeah. All right, season strength comes in here. I'm sure you know this. Did you know that creatine changes if left in water too long? I guess it changes too long. Is that what's your knowledge on, Johnny?
I mean, there's some merit to that for sure.
Some science,
The older science was much more concerned than the newer science.
Okay. Kevin,
but, you don't want to mix it. You don't want to mix it 6 hours ahead.
Right. And you don't want to have it sitting in the fridge for the week and going, okay, I'm sipping it out. I get you.
No, it's not like a flavor. You got to basically, what I do is my bottles are filled. And as I go through them, I mix another one, drink it down. So it's never more than a few hours.
We're going to get to the conversation desk in a minute here, Jimmy. And we're got Kevin Tejada joining us at the bottom here. Johnny, we got a guy who lost 100 pounds, man. I love these trends. I love these transformations.
Real quick, back to the story. So all I'm saying is, this was what was was causing remember I was like, constantly not fucking recovering, and I was not myself.
Yes.
Well, holy Christ, I'm only on day 2, and I'm like, holy shit, I can fucking feel the difference. So fucking A. Sometimes I guess the moral of the story is, sometimes you can't get so focused over here, you miss some of the basic shit over here.
It's true. Well, back to numbers. If you're so focused on what's happening here, you might not be paying attention to what's happening around you, right? Because what happened, I believe what happens with us is we get conditioned to believing this is right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But I say all the time, don't get lost in the details.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're talking about right now in many ways, right?
And I got lost in the details because I was being too hypercritical or in this way, basically here, it was just, I missed the most fucking simple thing.
Yeah. Speaking of simple thing, before we get to the conversation, just a quick little thing. Johnny, talking about dissolving creatine in water. Lauren and I were flying home from Ecuador a couple of years back, it was. And they were stopping us at security, but on the other side of security with our water bottles. And we couldn't take water bottles on the plane. I was like, well, why not? Like, well, because you can dissolve cocaine in it. It's like, oh. I didn't even think about the idea of actually putting my cocaine in a water bottle, dissolving it, drinking it, and then getting back home to America and then boiling the water out and having the cocaine residue left. And I'm just making one of my naive 50-year-old statements when I was walking to the airport.
Water that you actually bought once you got past their security?
Yeah. And then at the gate to get on the airplane, you could not take any liquids on the plane because they were concerned that you could have something in it. And as you know, you could boil it off. I didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah. Well, I guess these fuckers they're creative in how they move their shit around.
Oh, totally. Yeah, 100%. All right, Jimmy, Sterling, Preston. I know we got some stuff at the conversation desk. We got a few things we're going to get into before we bring Kevin Tejada and the guy who lost 100 pounds. I can't wait to have this conversation. Jimmy, Sterling, Preston, what's going on this morning?
First up, deepfakes aren't just funny filters. They're quietly breaking ID checks and turning crypto into a biometric scam playground. Then we've got Meta turning your reels into evidence, flagging who's copying your stuff, and quietly eating your monetization. And AI could erase half of junior office jobs while hackers test drive Claude in cyber attacks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mornings Live with Keith, Jon, and friends. You got myself. I'm the handsome Chief Keith Bilous. Over there is Jon Andersen. Over there is Kevin Tejada joining us in a few minutes. The guy who lost 100 pounds is going to bring him into the show this morning. But guys, it's International Men's Day, Johnny.
And hey, team, real quick, team, thank you for fucking calling me out on my shit. Yeah. Sometimes we need that.
It's true. It's how we all gain and earn, and we keep trust and respect. Hey, so it's International Men's Day, and I only bring it up for one reason, because I was looking for a hook for today's show, because in my world, it's International Men's Day every day. It's like it's International Mom's Day, birthdays, and Christmas days, and every day. I hate celebrating special days, but apparently, Johnny, today's International Men's Day.
Well, you what those days?
I strongly do not like celebrating a single day in the world. I like celebrating every day. Thanks for catching that, brother.
Dude, I gotta tell you, we because we do this to each other. Yeah. You've made me better at it too.
Yeah. Well, it's true. We talk all the fucking time, man. Like my first one,
and it's just like it's so fucking great when, because you can't correct everybody. Not everybody wants to be corrected.
No, I know.
We welcome each other, making us better, and so I fucking love it, dude.
And so do I. It's funny because I do with people around me too. They're like, I'm like, what did you say? I'm like, I go, no, what did you say? Like, oh, I've actually extended this out because the energy perpetuates itself. When we use the H word, it continues to perpetuate itself. But guys, it's Men's Day, so I'll leave this. Gentlemen, Johnny, I'm going to invite you to do this too, pal. It's Men's Day today, guys. Here's my invite. Pick up your phone today, send a text to somebody. Just send a text. Send a text to a buddy. Just send a text and tell somebody you're thinking about them. And because that might move the needle in somebody's world that you don't even know that they need that needle moved. So today would be the day to do that.
I did that already.
I know you did.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Everybody do it.
And hey, brother, what else is happening today is I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one, but somebody you and I guess grew up with in the sports world, and it's kind of when you look back, especially these athletes, John, I think it makes us reflect on our own age. But dude, LeBron James is now 40. I can remember when the guy first started.
Savage, dude. It just shows you when you play the game, not just the NBA game.
Yeah.
You play the game of fucking making everything. Oh, speaking of devil, look at that. That's actually my best friend fucking texted me some love.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, he's a cancer survivor, by the way.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on.
Yes, absolutely. We fucking have him on.
I've known him since fucking Little League soccer.
Okay, well, we got to set it up, brother. You know what we'll do? We'll do a 45 an hour with him, 100%. Yeah, I would love to set that up. But yeah, LeBron going to be 40, 23 seasons, Johnny, in the league.
He plays the game of recovery. He plays the game of nutrition.
Yes.
He plays every game known to make his world better. And look what it's done for him.
Yeah. I like pulling these ones out because I think we go through life idolizing certain humans, and sometimes we wonder how to be like a certain human, and sometimes it's not as difficult as we seem that it thinks.
He's a perfect act as if.
Yes,
because if you want to act as if, look at the shit he does that's not on the court. That's what you need to start to practice.
Yeah. And love him or hate him, because I'll use that word, hate him, because some people do not like LeBron James.
Well, that word can be used in a catch your attention phrase for sure.
Sure. But you cannot deny the fact the guy has had an impact on his terms, the way he goes about it, and look his journey, right? Cleveland, back to LA, the ESPN announcement, all the things that he's done. He's moved the needle in culture. There's no question about it.
He's like the Tom Brady. He can show up to a fucking team, and if he can't win it himself, he'll call one of his buddies to come help him do it. Yeah. Exactly. All right, Kevin, I see you in the green room, brother. We're going to bring you up in a few minutes here. We're just going to wrap up our topics up here in the conversation desk with Sterling and Preston. Hey, Jimmy, I think we got something for those AI deepfakes. If you have something, Jimmy, you want to run that for us?
AI deepfakes aren't just celebrity meme fuel anymore. They're now 1 in 5 biometric fraud attempts trying to beat security. Humans only catch good deepfakes about 1 in 4 times, and fewer than 10% of fraud pros feel ready. Today, we're breaking down how AI is turning crypto, banking, and payments into a deepfake minefield, and what men should watch.
So, Johnny, in the No Shit Sherlock department, deepfakes are essentially, here's the reality, is that, what is it, 1 in, so 35% of digital forgeries are all being done right. Crypto deepfakes are used 60% of the time versus 22%. The reality is deepfakes are 1 in 4 people are getting scammed by deepfakes. And here's the funny thing, man. You and I do this show every single time, and you've said yourself where every single day people are using your shit. Well, the more you and I keep talking and creating video, the propensity for our voices and heads and faces to be used for deepfakes are increasingly higher than somebody else because we do the show so much. But mom, dad,
even before deepfakes, they could just literally take a piece of your content.
Yes. Speaking of content, hey, Meta launching a tool. This will be important to you, John. Meta launching a tool to detect stolen reels on Facebook. Sterling, what's that all about?
Meta just rolled out content protection that snitches on copied reels across Facebook and Instagram before they quietly farm your views. It shows you who's reposting, how many views they're stealing, and lets you block, tag, or forgive them. For creators, this is part alarm system, part probation officer, especially for spam farms and faceless pages living off stolen clips.
So, brother, just for you, man, Facebook content protection, mobile tool that flags copied or reposted reels. So I know you've had some challenges. When I saw this, I thought of you specifically because there's people out there fucking flogging the fake bullshit, all that fake crap that might grab Jon Andersen's name. So this is a tool that you might want to lean into, pal, sooner than later.
Yeah, hopefully this works better than reporting it, because reporting it doesn't do shit. I gave up on it a long time ago. I got a buddy of mine who's done the same thing. He gets, because he does crazy videos, and he'll report the fact that it's basically not him, and they'll come back and question if he's him.
He's like,
He's like,
no.
I'm fucking verified. What do you mean? Am I me?
You know, the verification thing, I think, might be the biggest fucking revenue scam on the planet, because I don't think it does mean shit.
Well, once you start paying for it, I mean,
Yeah.
fuck, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, precisely. All right, Kevin Tejada coming up. Before we do that, one last conversation, piece of content for this morning. And this one I can personally lean into, man, because there's sometimes when I'm just so passionate about something, I
We
just
got
want
to do some digging on nicotine too. It's getting fucking nuts what's coming
You
out.
know what? It's interesting because it was on my topics.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah,
It's
yes.
like this shit is like forgive the word cure. I don't want to say cure.
No.
But this shit knocks down viruses like at a fucking rancid rate.
So, dude, you must have been looking at my list in between our conversations yesterday, because I had it on my list of topics. It's not gonna be on today's, but tomorrow or next week. But yes, nicotine's up there because I want to lean more into that, do some research, have some people talk about that for sure.
Inside your mind.
Yes. This one here, though, man, and sometimes I get so passionate about certain things that sometimes I just want to get on the rooftop and yell. This one, I'm very, because of what happened to me yesterday, I can relate into this one. Anthropic, one of the other big frontier models, CEO Dario Moto, warned in a 60-minute interview that AI could eliminate up to 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs within 1 to 5 years. Jimmy, run that clip, and then I got a comment on it.
Anthropic CEO says AI could erase up to half of entry-level white-collar jobs in 5 years. That's not sci-fi, that's forecast. Claude's already doing junior work for hundreds of thousands of businesses. And inside Anthropic, it writes about 90% of their code. He's also worried a tiny club of tech leaders is steering society, while hackers just ran a major cyber attack using Claude mostly alone.
So I won't spend much time on this one except this. I heard somebody say something a few months back that in our children, John, need to get used to constantly learning new things. I spent the last few weeks learning one thing that I was working on. Yesterday, Google releases their new model, Gemini 3, like a brand new model. It's just no different like an iPhone, next iPhone, right? So they released a new model yesterday. Dude, everything I learned for the last 3 weeks, irrelevant. And not irrelevant in a bad way, but I was able to build things yesterday that I could never have imagined building in my entire life. Let me give you a real life example. I would have loved to have built a house. I don't know how to build a house.
Okay.
Yesterday, I sat down in front of Gemini 3, and I built a fucking house. And I'm like, oh. So when I see so we're on Gemini 3, 4, 5, when I hear these predictions about the future, I'm telling you, man, humans just have their heads in the fucking sand. I'm just so telling you, because I'm tired of people who don't work with the technology barking. I work fucking 16 hours a day with this shit. It's changing society, and people just got their heads in the sand. I'm telling you right now.
Learned helplessness.
Yes, that's exactly it. All right, Jimmy, Kevin Tejada coming up. Let's get center stage. Johnny, we got about a 90-second break. If you want to go for a piss, let's do that. We're going to bring the man up here and talk about his 100-pound weight loss. I can't wait to get into this one. Jimmy, let's do it. Sophia Graham.
You ever close your laptop at midnight and realize your body feels like a side project you keep postponing every year? If that sounds familiar, Kevin knows that exact exhaustion, because he turned his own overwhelmed tech life into a transformation blueprint. Kevin Tejada is a weight loss coach who lost 100 pounds himself and now helps busy professionals simplify lasting fat loss. He dropped 100 pounds himself. No liposuction, no Ozempic, just relentless honesty, simple habits, and a plan he could actually follow. He went from in-person trainer to online coach while working as an identity admin who understands overloaded calendars and nonstop logins. Kevin studies the rise of weight loss drugs, especially their hidden cost, muscle loss, and asks what happens when the prescription ends. Instead of fad diets or 6-day boot camps, he builds realistic systems and workouts that fit between meetings without hijacking family time. Today, he works with tech workers who want to lose 30 to 50 pounds without long gym sessions or rigid meal plans. Off camera, he is the guy geeking out over fountain pens, slowing down to handwrite thoughts while everyone else scrolls endlessly. He left Instagram's memes and brain rot to show up on LinkedIn, where serious people want help instead of another dopamine hit. Kevin believes weight loss will never be easy, but it becomes simple when a coach walks beside you instead of barking orders. Kevin, thanks for joining us in the lab today. We're excited to talk about your transformation journey.
Nation, Meet Kevin Tejada, a weight loss coach who knows what it's like to be in the trenches because he lived it. We're talking a 100-pound transformation from 244 to 140 pound. No shortcuts, no Ozempic, no liposuction, just pure determination, discipline, and a fucking system. Tejada, welcome to the lab, brother.
Hey, what's up, Keith?
How are you? Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, the Windy City itself. I'm up here in Winnipeg, Canada. Your twin Canadian sister city.
Yeah, it sucks.
No, Chicago's awesome. What? You don't like Chicago?
When it goes from about 78 degrees and it drops to about 45 in 2 days, it's not fun.
Ah, there you go. Are you a Chicago boy though? Are you from Chicago?
No, I'm from New York.
Oh.
Which also is cold as fuck during the winter. So I'm used to it, but this transition is wild. It's a little bit too wild for me. In Lake Michigan, it just blows all the cold air. So it says, oh, it's 40, it feels like 40, but then the wind hits with the lake water and it's like, oh, it actually feels like 28.
I love it. Welcome to the show, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us in the green room there. I saw you patiently waiting for us. And any comments on anything we threw on the table before you got into the lab this morning?
It's a nice presentation you got there for me. You covered a lot. You even got my last name correctly. You messed it up.
I was wondering, so is it Tejada? Tejada?
It's Tejada.
Tejada.
It's fine though. I went through elementary, middle school, high school, same shit, so it's fine. I'm used to it. Yeah.
So Kevin Tejada, weight loss coach who knows what it's like to be in the trenches. You work specifically with tech workers, the guys sitting at desks all day, trying to figure out how the hell they're supposed to lose 30, 50 pounds and they barely have time to think, let alone spend 2 hours in the gym. And one thing I love that you're obsessed about, pens. Tell me about that. Your obsession with pens.
Check this out. It's so here's what happened. About earlier in the year, I was studying for my precision nutrition certification. Okay. And they gave me a handbook and I had to write by hand in the handbook. I'm like, oh, this is kind of lame. What is this, like 1998 or something? Yeah. I'm writing, I'm like, this feels kind of nice. And then I was looking into it, and as you probably know, the connection when you write something by hand, it kind of imprints that information in your brain a bit more. So I'm like, oh, let me make sure I get a good pen so I can imprint this information a bit better. And then I got some pens, and they were nice. I got like this Fisher Space pen over here. It looks really nice. You can write in space with it. Nice. Because it's pressurized. And I'm like, this is awesome. And I think I have a problem now. It's become kind of an issue. And it's just nice. It's nice to get your thoughts on paper. I even wrote some notes for myself for this over here in case something comes up because I'm shit live. So it's just nice. It's nice to kind of like when you're worried so much, especially in my field, because I'm an online coach for weight loss right now, right? Yeah. But in my day job, I still work in IT. Okay. I get into the specifics, but COVID started that. But anyway, basically when everything's in your head or on digital, sometimes it's just easy to forget it and get stressed. So take that shit out of your head, put it on paper, and a lot of the stress goes away. So that's what I found, and I live by it now. So allow me to enlighten for a second. I have a little prediction that I'll make with you right now before Anderson gets back here, and you guys can talk about your pens in your analog world as much as you guys want. I'll also go have a coffee and talk digital for a while. You guys can do your thing. I predict, Tejada, I have a prediction for you, brother. You're a tech guy. You're a pen guy. Here's my prediction. 2026, 2027, OpenAI, Jony Ive, their big gadget they're releasing, a pen.
Maybe
that you're right in the air. It's a pen with microphones and cameras, and it captures everything because it's analog, but it's with you all the time. It's got a microphone listening all the time. You write in the air. It's a new input device, and it reaches back 100 years. You got a small battery. It's going to be the third thing we carry, and it's going to bring us back to an analog world which bridges the gap.
You know what? I actually believe this because I don't know if you know this, they've been making strides in that kind of digital pen world where they have like little cameras or special paper. Like they're not great, but what you're talking about, you just bring that shit anywhere. You can write in the air like a fake whiteboard and have it work. I think that's pretty feasible.
So mark it down the calendar, November 19th, and that'll be the prediction. So Kevin Tejada, Jon Andersen, I think it's about time for you guys to get into it. I'll just go leave and have my digital conversation. You guys can talk about losing weight, analog pens, and all that bullshit. Mr. Andersen, Kevin, Jon.
Kevin, what's up, brother? Sorry, I was gone a little longer than I expected. I was that pissed. Was one of those I was farting in the middle of it, and I realized I better sit down to finish this.
That happened to me before I hopped on here, actually. So I understand.
There you go. There you go. So Johnny, let's get into it. So Kev, you lost 100 pounds, man. Like I love these transformation stories. I'm my own journey with life was the husky fat kid growing up. Johnny was not the husky, the big fat son of a bitch. He called himself. But you lost 100 pounds. Tell us the story.
Tell us about the method, the mechanism. There's always a sequence to it. We'll talk about yours, brother.
Yeah, but even before that, Kevin, tell us the moment where you realized. And even before that, where you needed to make a change, was it your own mirror? Was it a girl? Was it a doctor? Like, what was that kind of that? Holy fuck, man! I'm the fat guy. I got to change.
I know the exact moment when that happened. Am I able to share a picture of the transformation? I don't know.
Sure, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna share that. Let me know if it shows up or whatever. I don't know. I just shared it here. I don't know if you can blow that up or whatever.
I got it. Yeah, there it is right there. Oh my goodness, check that out, guys.
Yeah. I don't know if that was actually my fattest, but that was the fattest picture I can find, because when you're fat, you don't like being in front of the camera. So I don't have a lot of that. So
yeah,
there was a moment. So basically, I grew up. My parents are Latino, and my grandma lives about a block away from me. So my mother and my grandma, they made sure I was never hungry for more than 2 hours. They just had all the food available.
That's how they show love, brother.
It is, and I appreciate it. It's a first world problem. Oh my god, my parents are feeding me, but it made it so that I reached about 244 pounds when I was a teenager, and I'm not a tall guy. I'm barely 5'8", so that amount of weight on someone as a teenager of that height, it's not good. So at a certain point, I was thinking, let me try walking a bit. Let me try to lose some weight. The bare minimum. Didn't work, and I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna be the fat, funny guy, right?
So how old are you roughly at this time?
Right now, I'm 33.
At the time of the story, forgive me.
I was about either 16 or 17. I can't remember.
Still kind of late teens, okay?
Exactly, yeah.
Self-awareness teens.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had this friend who was in his early 20s, and he told me, oh, yeah, I lost 90 pounds before. I'm like, excuse me, wait a second. You lost 90 pounds. You're not some fucking rich guy. You're not an actor. You're not a model. You're just some guy. No offense. And you lost 90 pounds. And I thought to myself, holy shit, this is possible for the average person then. And this also means if I don't accomplish it, that means I'm not doing something wrong, because it is possible. It's just I got to find the method to do so. So that's the exact moment where I'm like, oh shit, this is actually something I can do. And then I worked my ass off doing a lot of cardio, elliptical. I was trying to brute force my way into fitness, doing a bunch of stuff, and through that method I did lose about 60 pounds. It was 144 to 204, and it was at that point midway through college, so I was probably 19, 20. I started the Insanity workout from Beachbody from Sean T. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's like 8 weeks, 6 days a week of about 50 minutes of pure cardio. It sucked. It was probably, to this day, one of the worst things I did in my entire life. And then when I finished it, I checked the weight, and over those 8 weeks, all that work, I lost 2 pounds. And it was so fucking dramatic. I was like, this is absurd. How am I supposed to lose weight? I dropped to my knees in my room, in my carpet. I'm like, oh my God, my thighs are actually pretty thick and, kind of strong. So I'm like, this helped, just not in the way that I thought. So then I did more research, and I found out basically, nutrition matters. And then I started keeping track of my food, getting into calorie tracking and stuff like that. And then the last 40 pounds came off way, way, way faster than that. And that's how I lost all the weight basically through the end of college. And then after college, I started working at Yankee Stadium. And as you know, with sports
so
fans,
when you say you lost all your weight, you basically down to your goal weight at once you started bringing nutrition into play.
Exactly. I lost about 60 of the 100, and once I put through brute force, and then once I brought nutrition
what were you
to
doing
play,
when you say brought nutrition in? What was the change?
Basically, I started to actually track what I was eating. Like, I had no idea when I was doing all this brute force stuff. I was just eating the exact same way. Now, obviously, the increased activity made it so I wasn't gaining weight at an absurd pace.
So
but
brute force is actually symbolizing, fuck the diet. I'm just gonna push myself physically for this method.
Exactly. Gotcha. And when you're a fat teenage couch potato, that's gonna be helpful, right? But once you get down to a certain weight, you need a more kind of refined, specific approach to get to the deeper goal. So I think I was at right when I finished college, a little afterwards, maybe like 22-ish, 23, I finished losing 100 pounds. I was 144. And then after that, I started working at Yankee Stadium. And you know how sports fans are. Between every inning, they would go up, get like, you know, the worst food you could possibly imagine. I was thinking
nothing healthy in that stadium
Ever.
Yeah, I was thinking, damn, these guys, so many of these people are just gonna die in like 20 years because they're eating this shit and they just keep waddling back to their seats and just watching the game and not actually doing anything outside of that. And I was like, damn, it would be great if they could just kind of, you know, undergo the transformation I did. And I'm like, there's a fucking job for that, personal training. And then next week, I'm like, yo, I quit. And I started studying for my National Academy of Sports Medicine. And I became a trainer at Blink Fitness. Then I moved on to Equinox a year later. I worked with a lot of rich people over there. I even saw The Rock and Kevin Hart in person at Equinox in New York City. Kevin, as you probably know, Kevin Hart's shorter than you would think he is. The Rock is larger than you think he is in person.
Well, especially when you put them together.
Yeah. I didn't see them at the same time, but they were
okay.
they were there. I remember seeing Kevin Hart was walking in. He's short, but he is strong as hell. He was wide. He's a very strong looking guy. He even used my buddy's kind of boxing gloves and pads with his bodyguards. They fucked that up. He is really strong. So Equinox, then I went to work at the YMCA because I wasn't a fan of the management in Equinox. And then I was working independently as a trainer. And then COVID hit. And then I was in New York at the time, and I went to Chicago with my girlfriend and basically switched to kind of IT office stuff because personal training was basically illegal during COVID in a way. But, you know, I've been getting deep into basically my IT career in the last few years, and I'm now, and I hate my title, but it sounds cool. Identity and Access Management Administrator is what I do for a university. And so I understand a lot of the struggles that tech people go through. And I'm thinking late last year, early this year, I should get back into helping people out, right? But I don't really want to do the in-person thing again because it's kind of a hassle to get that going. Setting stuff up with adults is a pain in the ass. I'm sure you guys know. Once you're past like 30, like scheduling stuff with other grown men and women, it's just a huge pain in the ass. So I'm taking the online coaching approach, and that's the end of the transition so far. That's how it is. So right now I'm focusing on tech workers because I understand the struggle of that. After this lab session here, I have about 4 back-to-back meetings at my day job. So I understand how it is, but I still keep fit. I haven't gained all the weight back. I make it work with all the stuff in mind. So that's basically the long and short of it.
You said you haven't gained all the weight back. You make me nervous, brother, when you said I haven't gained.
Well, I gained some of the weight on purpose because when I was in Equinox, I learned how to level barbell, and I gained a lot of strength and a lot of muscle back then. I was basically working out almost like a power lifter at that point. So I went
muscle and strength back is not really. You shouldn't tag that as gain the weight back. That's a positive thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't really count it that way. But when I say 244 to 144, I am not 144 anymore. And I'm glad because I would be, back at then, I wasn't.
Well, it could really be, thank God I'm not 144 because I put on 15 pounds of muscle.
Exactly. And that's how it is.
Are you not 144 and you show it around your belt line?
Yeah, that's the thing about the whole body composition thing. It can show up in different ways. But no, I'm happy with the weight I'm at, with the muscle I have and all that kind of stuff. So I am in a good place right now, even with the taxing stuff that happens day to day. So I'm cool with it. So yes, Keith, there has been weight gain, but not in a bad way. It hasn't been like, I'll say this, there hasn't been a bunch of fat gain.
Gotcha.
Mass gain, yes.
Hanging out with Keith, Jon, and our guest Kevin Tejada this morning from cold, windy Chicago on Happy International Men's Day. Hey, Kevin, got an invite for you, brother. I would invite you to send a note to a buddy today on Men's Day. Just check on him. Just send a note to a buddy today. Just check on him, see how he's doing. I'm just to me, it's International Men's Day, Women's Day, every single day. But maybe today's the day you can send a note to a friend to say, hey, you're thinking about him. Because there could be because you never know, right? You never know somebody who might need your words, right? Kev, you have some strong opinions around Ozempic. And I'd like to get into that because we talk about that here on the show. We talk peptides, we talk Ozempic, we talk GLP drugs. We have all those kind of conversations. Talk to us a little bit about your opinions on Ozempic and And when somebody comes to you asking about it, where do you line up on that, Kev?
Well, I actually don't know you guys' opinions on that, so if I say something that might not be
so
before you say what you want to say.
I'm going to
because I want to just interrupt you because I'm glad you said that, Kevin. So one of the things Keith and Jon pride ourselves on, this is not a show of an echo chamber at all.
This is great conversation, baby.
This is a show about conversation and discourse. And if we don't agree, that's okay. That's what this world is missing, is conversation and discourse. So would love to hear what your thoughts on Ozempic are, pal.
Yeah, the stronger your opinions are, the more honest you're being, brother. Go for it.
Absolutely.
Overall, I fucking hate it, to be honest with you. But not specifically because of the Ozempic. It's more like for me, Ozempic and Wegovy and all the other, crazy sounding shit. To me, it's the same thing as liposuction. As in, you're basically you're doing a shortcut to get to the end goal without learning the habits that'll keep you there. And the thing is, if you have the money and you understand that it's not going to change your mind and you're okay with just doing that every time, fucking go for it. That's totally fine. But if you want to basically understand what it takes to lose that weight and not rely on, surgery, drugs, be basically indebted to doctors the rest of your life to keep this healthy feeling, then I wouldn't recommend it to basically anyone. Like I said, now, if you're like, hey man, I got shit willpower, but I got a lot of money, go have fun. But for my clients, basically, I would never ever recommend that. That's
so. What are your thoughts on this, brother? So you said you put a GLP into basically the same category as liposuction. Liposuction is something that once it's done, it's done. You're not going back to get the lipo reversed. That makes sense. It's kind of a different scenario. It's a procedure, right? A GLP-1 used improperly, like you're describing, I think 100% of people just say, oh, this is just this thing that I can stay on for the rest of my life. But what about if they were actually be educated to realize that Ozempic, because there's 3 generations, right? There's basically Ozempic, Mounjaro, or tirzepatide, and then retatrutide. All 3 of them offer the same opportunity at different levels. But what if you're in a position that, well, hey, this is a great opportunity to take the pressure off the challenges you're having so we can reconstruct your daily life. Now we've got this, the pressure's gone. You're not running around feeling like you got to eat everything under the fucking sun. Food's not so important. So we can teach you how to eat 4 or 5 times a day, small amounts, the right food, because that thing that made you fuck up is going to be gone for a while. So let's use this as a tool to recalibrate how you live your life.
Okay. My take on that is anyone can learn those things without it. So in your scenario, let me make sure
they're having it. Clearly they're not doing it though.
That's the thing I was going to ask you. In this scenario, is this person just like their willpower is just
I'm not talking about a person.
I'm
talking about a person. I'm talking about the tool being presented that way rather than looked at as liposuction, stay out for the rest of your life because you got a lot of money. It's shortchanging the tool. It's like saying, here's a tool that can be used this one way only. You're correct. It can be, but it can be used this way, but it's not being presented as that option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see how it could be.
Get the person, talk about the tool.
I see how it could be helpful. My thing is
now going back, do we still connect the word hate to this tool?
When you put it that way, not necessarily.
I hate this fucking power tool because it cut my fingers off. Was it the fucking power tool's fault?
Not necessarily, no. That's a good comparison. The thing is with these drugs is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you seem to be more knowledgeable on them. They essentially make you not hungry, and then you just don't eat as much, and that's essentially what it does for you, right?
Well, I mean, that's a very short-lived way. It's like this power tool is designed to cut shit.
Yeah. So if you make a person not hungry, they will lose weight, but without
but it's not about losing weight. It's about resetting habits.
I was just going to say, yeah. So Kevin, I'll tell you,
you're still stuck on losing weight because you come on the show and I love the fact you lost 100 pounds, brother. But you mentioned body composition once in that whole spiel of losing weight. Body composition is the whole thing. Let's just say that you went from 244 to 200 and you change your body composition, that would have been a much different journey. Now, a GLP-1 could have come in and helped you do that in one fell swoop. Now, did you have the discipline to do it? Didn't sound like you did. Had someone given you a tool that allowed you to do so, would that have been a better journey for you?
And Kev, just to help you there, right? So I'll tell you, man, before I met Jon, we had some nutritionists on our show. I had the exact same philosophy and opinion as you. True story. I'm like, why the fuck do you got to give somebody a shortcut? It's not teaching them anything. And then I started researching, learning, and then I discovered that if that tool is going to help Kevin get to the door because he was too scared to get to the door and take his shirt off because he was too embarrassed, but that tool was a way to maybe get him there and then to teach him, I started changing my point of view on it. And then as I started learning more from Jon and just my own research, I started learning more going, okay, I can go try to, cut that piece of wood with a manual saw, or I can use a power tool with knowledge behind it. For me, what I've learned, because my mom was on some of these things as well, Kev, what we are teaching our humans is, I think, the wrong stuff.
Yeah. And to do your defense, Kevin, you're presenting the knowledge that's primarily out there.
That's what I knew, Kev. What I knew until I was educated.
Presenting this in a way like I just did. They're presenting it like, be on our subscription, please, which is what you're talking about. And the crazy part is, I own a peptide company. I know tons about this. So I'm playing coy with you, but I'm just helping to trying to educate you, brother, in a fun way. So this should all be love.
Yeah. So like I said, Kev, this was when I was you months ago.
It was a setup.
I was months ago on this too until I learned about it. I was like, oh, okay. So
but keep in mind, the medical field presents this stuff just kind of like in the regards that you are. Hey, this is a great way. You get on this and you can fucking be on this for the rest of your life and blah, 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 blah. Now, the crazy part is that the medical field will like put an extra zero on the cost of what this stuff really is.
More than that.
Yeah, exactly. Kev.
Yeah, from like $150 a month to like $1,500 a month.
I think it's more than that. I think it's depending on which one. It could be like.
You're totally correct. I'm just giving a blanket statement there, but that's the whole deal. But so given this conversation, I'm just trying to open your eyes that and keep in mind when the whole thing hit, I had to do some digging to really understand this too. But if you look at most situations coming out of the medical field, it's designed to do one thing: make them a shitload of money. And if you look a little closer at the tools they present, there's a lot more available than what they're actually presenting.
Yeah.
Kevin Tejada joining us this morning from Chicago. Kev, you said, so one of the things that I know I'm actually going to emphatically say this because I believe this. When you lost those 100 pounds, your confidence, I got to think, went through the roof. You put some clothes on that didn't fit before, your shoulders came out. You looked better in the mirror. You said you were scared to take your shirt off. Talk a little bit about that confidence lift, as you went through your journey and the weight started coming off, you started feeling better about yourself, because this is one of those things that it's hard to put a pin on, but when somebody experiences it, I think we got to celebrate it. Talk about how you just all of a sudden over time, you're like, yeah, I'm more confident, dude. What doors opened that you didn't expect, Kev?
So, can you elaborate a bit on what you said, Keith? You said both of you guys had some kind of experience with extra body fat. Did I hear that correctly?
So yeah. So you said you're 244, dude. I'm 5'7". I was 230 pounds.
Hey, manly club.
And he's being awfully generous with that measurement, by the way.
Yeah, I might be stretching 5'6". I know my wife's too.
See it real quick. See his hand is down on a table. Yeah, that's not a standing desk. That's a sitting desk. It works for him.
So Kev, I was not too probably far from you, man. I was a husky dude for sure. I was a husky kid growing up. I ballooned up to 200. Yeah, so we've been on that journey. So the mirror has been my enemy and my friend, Kev.
Okay, so the biggest kind of change in terms of confidence and all this stuff is people in public and on the bus and the train. Basically, people aren't mildly disgusted by you anymore. They just treat you. it feels like they're treating you better, but they're not. They're treating you normally.
Yeah,
and that's the weird part. It's like, damn, when I was fat, people just didn't want to be around me, it looks like. Because now I'm not fat. People are just, oh, yes, next to me, it's fine. Yeah, I'll talk to you, whatever. So that was kind of the biggest thing. Just people treating you like you're normal. But from your perspective, you're like, oh, this is way, way, way better. Awesome. It was kind of that. So the perception of other people of you as now you're a normal human being, basically.
Yeah.
And that helps, obviously. So the confidence comes from within, based on what you've accomplished, what you can do. But, the other people treating you nicer is also cool, right? But the going through all the stuff, going through years of putting in the work without, immediate reward, it lets you know, hey, I can go through a lot. I can deal with a lot. I can deal with bullshit for years without actually reaching the goal. And, that transfers through in a lot of stuff. Like me transitioning to IT, I went through hours and hours and hours of learning, and relearning stuff before getting into the position. That's why, and I was doing, self-education too without getting paid for it. That's why I was able to jump from my kind of, basic bitch computer janitor job to where I'm at now, an administrator, so quickly, because I was doing the extra work, the extra unpaid work on my own time, because I learned that kind of patience and that things will pay off from the weight loss. So basically the confidence you build in yourself from the work that you do and the perception of others, they kind of work together in a way that just makes you feel good. And you've probably experienced
what you're describing, brother, is a skill set, discipline. Yeah. There's a lot of things that wrap into this. It's a transferable skill.
Yes.
I love develop this. We talk about you develop it. Even when you're talking about how people look at you and all this kind of stuff, your progress and your confidence comes from the fact that you're putting in the work that, or more importantly, you're not fucking up anymore.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I prefer discipline over
Tejada,
everything possible.
Tejada, I'll tell you something to wrap up with you, brother. I know we went down the Ozempic path, and I brought it up on a reason because of what you just said. Because I knew in the research and the notes that I found out about you, you are a disciplined motherfucker that doesn't give up. And you strike me as somebody probably closer to Keith and Jon, where you do shit that others don't want to do. And you just even said a few minutes ago that while I was on my journey, when things don't happen, you don't wake up the next day and all of a sudden you're down 10 pounds. You knew that you had to put the minutes, the hours, and the days to reach your goals. That's why it drives you nuts when people want to find shortcuts. You're like, fuck that, because I put the work in. I'm Tejada. I put the work in. And you put the work in to get yourself where you are today. So as you leave the show here, I want you to recognize that, dude, that's why I brought you in, because I could see that you put that, because you don't just, Johnny, you don't lose 100 pounds by accident. There's a fucking immense amount of
especially when you're fucking figuring it out by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Johnny, not 40 or 50. Like, how old were you, Tejada, when you did that, brother? What were you, 20-something, 30?
It was, I want to say, it's kind of hazy, the starting points for health stuff. I want to say about 17 to 22, kind of. About
Holy shit. So even at that age, so to have that discipline at that age, the peer pressure around you, the world around you, for you to fucking dig in. So I love your passion around your opinion on, I don't like that crap because it's a shortcut, because that's what got you to where you are today. And Tejada, never change that, man, because the world does not have enough discipline like you clearly have in your life, my friend.
Well, let me real quick. Let me also share something you're talking about with your clients, right? Because I'll kind of mirror off of what I do with mine, like, because I have a mentoring company as well. And losing weight in many cases is changing their physiques is the first manifestation of their transformation, because it's not just, I don't just do physical, I do the whole thing anyway. But what I'm getting at is when, if a GLP-1 is going to be entered in the equation, first off, the only one I'll ever recommend would be retatrutide, because it's a developed version. It's the third generation. That's beside the point. But what I'm getting at is this. I won't even help them use that unless they agree that they've got to have the fucking discipline to eat on a schedule. So it's, there's good discipline on both sides. You have to apply yourself on both sides of the fence. It's just where do you want to apply yourself? So it's no free lunch. It's just, okay, we've got this opportunity. And like in the instructions, the last thing that I'll say always is, if you don't agree to eat on the clock, we will not do this.
Yeah. To add one more,
because malnourishment enters the equation. Bigger fucking problems than being overweight once you become now malnourished.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, I get what you're saying with that. It can be a decent kickstart if you put it with other habits. But for me personally, I'll leave with this. I would try to get discipline going above all, and I'll explain why. During college,
well, you
no
understand,
Adderall for me, no alcohol for me,
discipline
no
has
coffee
to be
for
on
me.
either way. No matter what GLP or one, discipline still has to be there. So I'm with you.
Yeah,
discipline is a part of the equation, no matter what. You can't do any of this with any tools without discipline.
Absolutely. I like discipline being a huge part of the equation. Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin Tejada, where can folks find you, connect with you, engage with you? Dude, I love your commitment to discipline. That's why you belong in a lab with us, man, because that's why. I don't expect you to know this. Keith and Jon have been doing the show for 2 years now, every single morning, live. Humans don't do what we do because we believe in this live experience to lead others. This takes discipline. So you got nothing but respect from Jon and I in terms of your commitment to
You do weekends too?
So Jon does a weekend show. We got some other stuff coming up here along the sides here, but yeah, we are Monday to Friday live morning show experience. Getting up and getting.
I get up every day at 3:00, no matter what day it is. I don't name my days.
Yeah, that's what we call it, the loop.
Today is another day that I kick ass.
Tejada, where can folks connect with you, find you, engage with you? And now that you're a Mornings in the Lab guest, you're part of the alumni. You're welcome back anytime. But where can folks find you, pal?
You can find me, I'm mostly on LinkedIn these days, Kevin Tejada, but you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, the Foxy Kevin T.
Any closing comments, brother, before we say goodbye?
No, I hope you guys are warmer than I am. It's dropping like a fucking rock over here in Chicago because Lake Michigan doesn't give a shit what it feels like. It's just,
Tejada, I'm in Canada, man.
Cold over here in California too, bro.
Sure.
It was
cold in California, really?
50 degrees over here, man. So I'm
all right.
I had to walk to my studio with a fucking sweatshirt on.
Okay.
Hey, brother, I just want to say great to have you here, but more importantly, keep fucking leading by example because this is what the world needs.
Yes.
Yeah. You too, man. Both of you.
Kevin Tejada, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. We're gonna do a lifestyle.
Keep kicking ass, brother.
All right, let's do the lifestyle tip with Anderson and come back and reset hour 2 of Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends. Let's do it, Jimmy.
Preston, tell me that is not Jon trying to escape a rental bug car. Bro, that is a full-size strongman coming out of a snack-sized car. Look at the door frame. It's fighting for its life.
Now let's talk about change. Now, see, change is this really, really interesting thing in a human's life because change will come. But here's the thing. How's it going to come? It's going to come in one of two ways, whether you like it or not. Either the pain of your reality is going to come greater than the pain of change. I shouldn't say either. The pain of your reality will become greater than the pain of change. And then you will change. And it will happen. Maybe it's because you just get tired of the piss poor lifestyle you're leading. Or maybe it's because somebody around you that lives the same lifestyle as you has a heart attack. Or maybe because you get into a car, who knows, a car wreck. You know, the list could go on. But my message is this. Why wait for a tragedy in your life to create that pain in your reality that is greater than the pain of change? Just choose to make the change. We all know what we need to do. So we tend to lie to ourselves and tell us that we don't need to, or we'll do it tomorrow, or do it later. So just remember, we all are changing and we all will change. The question comes down to, are you going to wait until you're forced to make a change? Or you're going to make the choice to make a change. Rock and roll.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mornings in Live with Keith, Jon, and friends. Hour 2 is getting up and getting after it. If you're just joining us, you guys missed the first hour here. We had some fun conversation. Kevin Tejada, the guy who lost 100 pounds, we joined us here center stage. We talked a little bit about what's happening in the news here today on the first 30 minutes of the show, and then we had a great chat with Tejada. But Keith and Jon are going to continue the chat here this morning. We're going to dig into Jimmy. Before we go to the deep dive, I want to have a little quick chat with Johnny about Tejada here because I just want to wrap that one up here before we go to the Stoics rule for hard holiday conversations. Dude, one thing I really appreciate about a guy like Kevin Tejada, Jon, is his commitment as a young man. Opinions aside, his commitment to discipline. That's why I invited him on the show, because I saw his story and I was like, this guy does shit that others don't want to do. And I'd like to find a way for him to articulate, whether we agree on weight or body composition or how you get there, the idea of discipline. I fucking love that because, Jon, we both know it's hard for many folks, my friend.
Well, and going back to what I was saying, the lifestyle tip, when you develop discipline, you just are constantly changing.
Yeah.
When you, as needed, as or with opportunity or whatever it is, when you're lacking that discipline, that's when something bad has to happen before you finally say, okay, I need to start to developing this discipline to make the change. So discipline, I mean, if it comes down to it, man, you take my discipline away, I got nothing.
So true. It's me too.
Nothing.
That's why when I started my journey back, Johnny, to building myself out and back to building this business, and when I was sitting down with Melissa and figuring out the story and the journey, she kept saying, well, like, I was like, I don't know. What am I? She's like, what are you good at? So I'm good at showing up. I'm good at being accountable. And I'm good at discipline. And they go, okay, well, how do you monetize that? Right. Because it's a, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you monetize somebody who shows up all the time? Well, I met somebody, right? Okay, now I got somebody who's on the same page as me, because it's a fucking hard thing. It's a soft skill, but yet so difficult for so many humans.
Well, when you think of what I love about discipline is once you have it, you have more doors in your life to choose from.
Yes, I would agree with that 100%. Again, it's a soft, intangible thing, but it's certainly, once you're in it, well, look at Tejada. A good example. He's like, hey, I lost that 100 pounds. People started looking at me differently, which would then make that assumption to me that probably doors open for him that didn't happen before. So his discipline enabled him to open up doors. Simple as that.
And he registered that he could transfer that skill set into his job. Yeah,
I love that. Because we know there's many men in his world that are going, how the fuck did you do it? I can help you do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and I loved the chat we had around because as you know, when we first started talking, I had some strong views on it too, going, no, fuck, it doesn't teach any good habits. But then you educated me and Jory educated me. Then I watched my mom's journey. of fucking taking Ozempic and not eating and getting really sick. Man, I wish I fucking knew you when she was going down that path. We thought she was dying.
Well, in those days, I wouldn't speak on it, because then people would say, well, if I endorse something, people are going to go do it. Yeah. And I didn't know where even myself to go get quality products.
Right. Yeah. Hey, holidays are coming up, pal. And during the holiday season, the Stoic rule for hard holiday conversations is simple. We sit down at the dinner table and all of a sudden conversations come up. And especially in a world where maybe people are wondering what color they should wear, blue, red, orange, whatever it is. But the Stoic rule for hard holiday conversations is simple but brutal. Focus on what you can control, your own mindset, reactions, and intentions, and let go of the rest.
Holiday dinners don't blow up because of turkey. They blow up because we forget what we actually control in the room. Today, we're stealing a Stoic rule that turns you from reactive nephew at the table into the calm adult in charge. Epictetus said every tense moment has two handles. One wrecks you, one lets you carry it with composure. We're talking about not taking the bait this year, skipping pointless debates, and protecting your peace without becoming a doormat. If you dread holiday conversations, this deep dive is your game plan for showing up kinder, firmer, and less drained.
Do you use your Stoic skills to help people not get into big arguments at the holiday time?
I very, very, very rarely will I have to do it because my family on both sides has been pretty fucking smart about this whole thing for as long as I can remember.
Really? Seriously?
Because if you come to a fucking holiday gathering and you're the dumb fucker that causes conflict, guess what? You're not invited next year. If you're not fucking smart enough to understand what the occasion's about, fucking go do that shit somewhere else. It's that simple. You know, and like literally it's like even like booze, you know, you hear of these families that say this is no drinking at this. It's because all these fuckers are they're socially so handicapped. They can't have a fucking good time, relax, and have a good conversation with loved ones. You know, if they're fucking got even a little heat on, they lose their shit. It's like, what is wrong with all you people?
Here's the I love you, man. Here's the one tip I'll put on the
fucking simple, isn't it?
Well, it is. And I think the one thing I'm going to put on the table, brother, for folks to maybe take from our conversation is maybe this is the year where you refrain from taking the bait, to Jon's point. Like, just if somebody dangles a bait, don't go there. Maybe what I would invite you to consider is this, what my lawyer taught me. If it's not going to move the conversation forward, what's the point in saying it? Right?
Yeah, I mean, is being right really that fucking important?
Especially on the holiday season. Like, seriously. Like
you know, and here's the thing. When you run your life, see, for the most part, my family, we're all fairly similar.
Okay,
right? In our own ways.
But there's got to be one dick, Jon. I got to think there's one dick in the family that you're like, oh, there's Uncle Joe or there's Auntie something.
Yeah, and he doesn't come back. I mean, we have this. I remember when I was young and before I really understood this.
Yeah,
there was this like every third or fourth year, this little old lady would show up, and she was a cousin of my grandfather who was passed, and she had no family left. So we would bring her to the gathering, like trying to include her. And every fucking year she'd get fucked up and melt down, and it would be this big fucking problem. So she'd be gone for 3-4 years. And I remember asking, hey, why doesn't she come every year? And they were like, well, she's coming this year. Watch what probably will happen. We like to give her, multiple second chance because she was old. But when it comes down to it, if you run your life this way, if you don't allow people in your life that fuck shit up, it's pretty easy to fucking run your gatherings that way.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. What is funny, Dr. John Petro jumps in and says there's always one, because there always is one, at least one.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. And that's the one you don't fucking invite back.
Well, I'll tell you something, man. So my extent, we joke about my inbred, my mom and dad's the farm family. Well, that family became estranged for a while because of the dicks showing up at the holiday events. And then there was a few uncles and, the drinks start flowing. Somebody says this, somebody says that. Eventually the family became estranged, Johnny. Very sad for fucking years, man. True story, man.
Dude, there was, brother. I mean, there was, I'm trying to think, it was over a decade ago.
Yeah.
But there was so it was basically he was kind of like a stepdad to me. So we're a pretty mixed family.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And not my stepdad, but he's my two oldest brothers' dad, because my two oldest brothers are halves.
Yes.
And he was like a father to me. Huge, I mean, massively important in my life. Anyway, he didn't get married. His last relationship, he had been in it for 15 years, but not married. But they were basically married. Well, she fucking wasn't invited back to these fucking gatherings because she would fuck shit up, man. I mean, she would have their personal issues at the fucking table. And that's where I had to use Stoicism a few different times to shut that shit down. And we make fucking jokes about every Thanksgiving. We have a joke about the last one because it was so fucking out there, dude. So she wasn't invited back after that.
I had one of those aunts. Same thing, who was invited and wasn't invited. And as I was growing up, me and my cousins, she just drove us. She just loved to drink, and she would always ask us to make her drink. So we just would make her fucking crazy drinks.
Oh, Jesus. She'd probably fucking just shithoused by about the third one.
Oh, but the funny thing was that we'd go in the kitchen and add fucking pepper and salt and a bunch of shit to these drinks.
She didn't even know it.
She didn't even fucking know.
Oh,
She's
dude.
sloshed. Just 100%. Like so, same thing, man. Just
That's
there's always
crazy.
There's always one, right? So, guys, you do not need a perfect family to have a perfect holiday. You need a steadier you. Lean into Stoicism. It will help you. Make the best use of what you have in power. Let the rest unfold and count every calm, intentional response as another win for your mindset, motivation, and your health.
Regret isn't one big screw up at 50. It's death by 1,000 little I'll start tomorrow decisions stacked together. Buffett's move is savage. Write the obituary you want, then ask, honestly, if today's version of you deserves it. His 2-list trick stings. Circle 5 real priorities, then treat the other 20 like red flag X's you don't text ever. Buffett says the real scoreboard isn't net worth, it's how many people would actually show up at your funeral. If you don't want a regret-soaked obituary, this morning loop is your friendly punch in the ribs to start.
I thought this could be one of those reflective conversations. Brother, true story question for you. If somebody had to write your obituary today, and maybe you wrote it, and I'm being serious, or maybe you have, I haven't, but this article made me think about it. If somebody wrote your obituary today, would you actually like what it says, or would you actually cringe? What's your thoughts?
I guess it depends on who wrote it.
Yeah, because Buffett has a simple regret filter, and he says, if somebody had to write it for you today, what's one line you'd be proud of, and what's one line you'd want to change? And that might make your mindset shift as you move forward in life, as you start thinking about that passage being written about you, Johnny.
Well, what I'm looking for is I want many, many people to say that I changed their life in a positive regard. It's going to be different for everybody.
Yes.
That's why I try at this point. One of my goals is I try to make sure that everyone that crosses paths with me that truly gets to engage,
yes,
it has some sort of is left with something positive.
Yeah. So that's what I would take from you. If I was writing your obituary, I would take kindness.
That's what I'm working for. And the problem is that it's if someone doesn't get enough time with me, they may not get that.
Okay.
Because I have to engage.
Yes.
If I don't engage, they're not going to get that.
Yeah. So some of his points, Johnny, Buffett's legacy backward move. He tells people to start with the end. Imagine the obituary you want, right? Then work backward. So to your point, I love that you're saying this, because if you keep saying to yourself, I want people to ensure they have a positive experience with me. Well, if that's your end point, when you come to meet me, for example, use me for example, you're ensuring that you're working back from that end point, right? Regret comes from neglect, not failure. People regret the things that they never fully went after. And that's what fuels me every single day. Like, nobody's ever gonna, that's my fuel, is that I believe so many folks have regret because they didn't chase what they really wanted, and then they wake up going, well, fuck, I didn't do it. Yeah, that's exactly it. And Johnny, relationships beat resumes. Buffett says the real scorecard is how many people genuinely love you, not how many deals you closed.
100%. It's and for that matter, it's how there there's those people that you meet, and it's like that person, just there's something about that person. There's a magnetism, there's an energy,
yes,
that you look forward to.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's there's no question there'll be plenty of people that will say, man, he really has changed my life. But then there's always going to be the flip side.
Well, sure, but that's just hey, dude, we talk about it all the time. We can't have love with the other side. We can't have love without the other side to that, right? Yeah. So, and we know what that is.
We don't know sweet if we don't understand sour.
It's true. It's absolutely true. So, guys, here's my invitation to you as we wrap up this part of the conversation. Maybe as you go through your day today, maybe as you go through your day interacting with either your family, your friends, the people at work, you're asking yourself, what would somebody think if I wasn't here right now? And maybe that just changes how you approach somebody. Maybe that changes how you, because Johnny even goes back, because I don't think the world's a kind place these days anymore. So maybe it just encourages somebody to say, smile, have a smile, say, please, play, thank you, because that's going to make them feel good about themselves if there's an obituary. Maybe the obituary is a way to make somebody think in a positive way. I don't know. So what do you got going on today, pal? What's in your world?
Kind of, we already at 6:30. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
Well, I'm happy to pay my debt here. You want to keep me a little extra?
Well, you know what? Actually, I got one more topic first. So yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I do have one more here. I have a pay my debt. I love it. Hey, I got something here around 5 stories of balancing empathy and excellence. Hold on a second here, Jimmy. I just want to look up here. Jimmy, let's go to this one. Let's go to Reloaded, Jimmy. Let's do Reloaded right now. Let's get into secrets most guys never learn on International Men's Day. Jimmy.
Most guys think health is just lifting, protein, maybe steps. The real secrets are way more boring and way more powerful. You don't skip oil changes on your car, but you skip yearly checkups on the only engine you can't replace. The data's brutal. Lone wolf men die earlier. Deep friendships and purpose keep your brain and body quietly armor-plated. Mobility work and sleep hygiene aren't sexy, but they're the difference between playing with your grandkids or watching from the folding chair. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 10 quiet habits, from stress and alcohol to pelvic health, that future you will thank.
Morning, guys. You're hanging out with Keith and Jon here. Mornings Live with Keith and friends. Getting to the bottom of the hour. My array is coming in with the community corner in a few moments. But before we do that, I'm going to give you guys 10 things to think about today that maybe you just, I got things for your list to put in your brain, which might create some awareness to do something about it. For example, have you gone for a regular checkup recently? I haven't. True story, right? We're talking right now about things that we as men don't do enough as we age. 10 men's health secrets most guys never learn or we avoid. Going for a checkup, Johnny. Deep friendships. I love the fact this morning your best friend sends you a text because it leans right into our conversation here. Like out of the blue. You woke up this morning, he was obviously thinking about you, so he sent you a text.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels fucking good, doesn't it? When somebody just out of the blue sends you something, it does, doesn't it?
And the cool thing is the relationship I have with him.
Yeah.
It's so
special about it.
It's one of those, we just is like, we started off bleeding together. It's like, he was like, we started off with that same passion for lifting weights and the things that we did.
It's got goosebumps.
Yeah. The things that we did as youngsters, we were the ones eating fucking loaves of wheat bread together, doing all that.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Say no more. Yeah. That tells me everything right there, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it was like he was doing all the same shit that I was doing. And
did he go on the same journey as you into bodybuilding and fitness, or did he make some different choices? And
he did, but then he kind of veered off into because you get to that certain point where it's like it gets pretty fucking hairy. You know?
Yeah.
It's like because now the stability from you're used to having the stability from parents in college, and all of a sudden that shit is gone. It's like, whoa, what the fuck now?
Yeah. Number 3 on our list here, guys. We're just going to go through some quick awareness conversation, men, on International Men's Day. But
I must say, he took the discipline, and he became, a really, really high level high school football coach. He became one of the most. I can't remember what division he's in, but in like a fairly short period, like a 6-year period, he became one of the most winning. He won more state championships in that period of time than I think he probably had some sort of a record. So then he basically the discipline that he has or that we developed together, he's been transferring around into his life too. It's what saved his life from cancer. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got to get him on. Let's talk offline about that on getting him on. I would love to have that story on our show, especially to have you guys. I'd love to see that. Love to see the camaraderie. Checkups, guys. Sullivan got my prostate blood work last week. I encourage other men to do so. I appreciate that, Sully, you offering that up here. Maintain deep friendships. Embrace mobility work. Keith and Jon talk about it all the time, guys. I can't encourage you enough because before you know it, you're 60 or 70, you can't touch your toes. Like fuck. So
just make sure you're mobile. It's one of those things that we lose. John kicked the show off about optimizing sleep. He recognized where his sleep gaps were happening. Mindful eating, right? Slowing down, chewing, and recognizing what your signals are. Johnny, I'm really working hard on my 8 and 8, right? Because I know after 8 o'clock, bad decisions happen for me. So working on managing stress proactively instead of reacting to stress.
Yeah,
right?
That's a big one.
Isn't it, right? It's recognizing when it's coming and then proactively getting ahead of it. What do you do when you know it's coming? What do you do to proactively get ahead of it?
I've become pretty good at it's all about feeling, of course.
Yeah.
I can kind of tell. I can tell when my body is taking on a certain feeling that is telling me there's too much. And at that point, I realize I got to start shifting quickly, because if you think about on a cellular level, we're all addicts.
Yeah.
We're addicts to the chemicals that our brain gives us the most.
Yes.
And I used to be a full-blown addict to fucking stress hormones. I would welcome them. I would feel stress and I would fucking dive into it. Oh, I would create it. That's what my best friend, his name's Josh.
Okay.
Well, he used to tell me, he said, dude, if drama's not in your life, you will create it.
I've known people like that too. I didn't
even fucking know I was doing it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fucking toxic, brother. Like, that's toxic for yourself and for your friends, because if, in my experience, you're finding the smallest thing and turning it into a fucking mountain and a volcano that's exploding right back then.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank goodness that was at a time in my life where it wasn't too damaging to my life, But so ultimately now, when I can feel when that stress starts to come.
Yeah.
I catch it when it gets to even the early stages. Once it starts to get into a body feeling,
yes,
at that point I know it's time for me to start working on my thoughts, and I go right to work on my thoughts, which will straighten the whole fucking thing out real quick, because my thoughts are what's generating those chemicals to give me the feelings I don't want. And I will avoid this like the plague. Now, when I feel that shit coming, if I need to, I'll just leave the fucking room.
It's like our relationship and this show has changed my view of this, because I very much rush towards gratitude when my stress is starting to creep up.
100%. That's going to be the first step, because the spigot of the stress hormone spigot, it cannot stay on when the gratitude spigot turns itself on. So you turn that one on. By turning that one on, a lot of times people try to talk themselves off the ledge of the stress. Well, forget the fucking, don't even acknowledge it. You're thinking about it is making it worse. You're giving it power. Start into some sort of a thought of gratitude, gratefulness, and it will turn that other spigot off. Period. End of story.
But I think that's been the power of this show for me on a personal level, is because I know it's a habit. Every 22 hours, my brain knows I'm going to have a conversation that's going to be positive and inspiring to me. Yeah. And I'm really grateful that I get a chance to have this and do this. So when I find myself anxious, when I'm growing the business or things are happening, what I do is hold on. And I fucking move my head proactively, literally, Johnny, running towards gratitude. And I've trained myself to slow I'd say to you that I've kind of arrived at an even keel most of the time now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Because it's a much better place to exist.
Oh, it's a much better place to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make better decisions, which change your life in a good way.
Yep, exactly. Guys, wrapping it up here. Limit alcohol, avoid tobacco. Check that prostate and pelvic health. And I'm going to change this word, because we've been leaning into this word a lot. And I think Keith and Jon are going to put a trademark on this word. Find your interest. Maybe over your purpose. Maybe purpose and interest are interchangeable. But man, your interest, if you have a reason to get up and have an interest, to chase that interest, you don't want to get up every single day. That interest is going to, you become addicted to an interest, it's going to wipe away everything else, Jon Andersen.
But it's got, I think we should add one little caveat. I so agree.
Yeah.
But I think that interest needs to be in the constructive arena.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be interested in scrolling. You can't lean into that interest.
No.
Because that's really an addiction.
No. If you're
that's like a negative, that's a negative interest. It's got to be a positive interest.
I'm just gonna even get further ahead of you. If you're interested in scrolling, get the fuck off this channel. We don't want you as our listeners, because that's not what we stand for. Actually, I want people that are interested in scrolling to learn, and not, so you know what I mean. Like, if you're using your device to learn, not to kill your brain rot. right? So, and guys, one last thing, you're not going to fix all 10 today, right? Maybe there's one thing you can get after today. Send a text to your brother. Go get your doctor's appointment done. Maybe you're going to get more water in or stretch today. But we build this show to create awareness, and we do it every single day, Monday to Friday, live, 8 o'clock Eastern time with Keith and Jon on Mornings in the Lab. Brother, we're done. I'm getting you out of here. 7 minutes over.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
A little discovery on the show here.
Yeah.
This would be guaranteed day 2 of better sleep. You could argue day 3 positive. For the first day was what I don't think it quite counted as the third, but 2 days deep. Smell is gone.
No shit.
That's what it was, dude.
Yeah.
It was basically my body was releasing some fucking weird shit because it wasn't getting the rest it needed. Nothing has fucking changed, dude. My diet is, especially when I'm trying to solve a problem, I'm fucking eating this. I mean, it is fucking eggs and beef at every fucking step, period, end of story. I mean, it's on the clock. It's the same fucking amounts, the same fucking seasonings, you know?
Dude, I crushed leftover steak for lunch yesterday. And then for dinner, Lauren popped by Costco and she bought this fucking massive bucket of just meatballs, like literally meat, garlic, and salt, like big motherfuckers. And we just sat on the couch last night and watched the show and just ate meatballs and salad. Perfect. It was just meatball. It was awesome, man. It was like, and that's just it. Meatballs and salad. I fucking loved it. It was so just craving meat, man. Just craving meat. Love meat. Love the flesh, as you call it.
That's it.
Love the flesh. All right, pal. You enjoy your day. I had a lot of fun here today. We have somebody up on the show here again tomorrow. You know what? Yes, we got Bjorn coming back tomorrow, and I'm not telling you why, because he was on the show last week, and I promised I was going to surprise you. He did something last week on the show. I invited him back. Bjorn, the gentleman from
he was a German.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's back tomorrow, maybe not for the full 30. We'll see how it goes, but he's back tomorrow for a reason, because he revealed something to me after our conversation that blew me away, because his story, I hope, will encourage others to do what he did that I didn't even know. And I'm like, holy fuck, man, you got to tell that story in front of everybody, including Jon. So I'm just teasing that. That's tomorrow's show. So you have yourself an awesome 22 hours, and I look forward to seeing you in 22 hours.
Have a good loop, my brother.
All right. International Men's Day. I love you, pal. Have a good one. Okay.
Love you too, my brother.
All right, pal. Check care. All right. Johnny's out of here. Jimmy, let's, before we bring Maya into the lab, Jimmy, you want to do a morning focus? You want to get into some human-centric leadership? Should we talk about 5 stories of balancing empathy and excellence before we bring Maya in for the community corner? And Roofy, I see you there, man. Meatballs and salad. Sounds like an interesting longevity. Yes. Meatballs and salad. At the Bilous house on a hey, Roofy, it was meatballs and salad and Dancing with the Stars. Yep, true story. Jimmy, human-centric leadership, 5 stories of balancing empathy and excellence.
Human-centric leadership is not group hugs. It is high expectations delivered with real empathy, not fake corporate slogans and results.
You don't have to choose between being the soft feelings manager or the cold numbers boss. Real leaders do both. The pattern in these stories is simple. Somebody actually listened, then still pushed for excellence. That mix changed everything long term. If you lead anyone, your team, your kids, or just yourself, this conversation is a mirror you actually need today. We're unpacking 5 real leadership stories, from classrooms to boardrooms, showing how empathy with standards creates insane, sustainable performance today.
Hey, so Jimmy, one of the things I was thinking about was, I'll allow the words to come to my mouth and let them flow when they're ready. But until then, we're going to talk about human-centric leadership. My belly's rumbling, Jimmy. My belly's rumbling. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And there's a restroom over there. So I don't know what that means there, Jimmy, except the belly's rumbling. You know, actually, before I get into this, I got a little teaching. So you guys know we're launching the Mornings in the Lab Live Network. Roofy's our first episode for our first show out there. And our goal for 2026 is to move into the monetization of what we built. And I want to just say that one of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you, when you're doing a live show, how do you talk when you're by yourself? Like how do you talk to people out there that don't know? What I was trained from a friend of mine who was in the broadcasting industry forever with Shake and Greg Mackling. He's like, you got to find one person to talk to. Just be thinking about talking to one person. So you guys always hear me referencing Jimmy, because in my mind, I'm going to reveal behind the curtain here of how my brain works when I do the show. I feel like I'm talking to Jimmy. Like when I'm doing this show, I'm talking to Jimmy right there. And what it enables me to do as the host is I have a connection with somebody. And I guess subliminally what works for me is when I know I'm talking to Jimmy, Roofy's listening, Petro's listening, everybody's listening, but it allows my brain to focus on the fact that I'm talking to somebody instead of talking to the air. In my experience, people who do podcasts and live shows, their concerns and their nerves are, well, who am I talking to? Am I just talking to the air? Like, what am I talking to? And if you pay attention to Roofy's show, 7:30 live Eastern time, Kindness Rising right here on the network, he's done a wonderful job of that. And I've even watched him from day one to where he is today. It's fucking, guys, it's hard. It's not easy to get out. And I recognize that when folks are looking to do these kind of things, like, who am I talking to? I don't got somebody to talk to. You want to imagine talking to one person, right? So it's closing your mind that you're talking to one person, having a conversation with one person. And then once you can wrap your head around that, you then add the entertaining part on, you add the information part on. But that first caveat is just leaning into, I'm talking to one human, and then I expand from there. If you can wrap your head around that, like I was teaching Matt when I first started, Matt, just think yourself talking to one human. There's one person listening. That's all you need. And if that one's 1,000, that's great. But just think of one person. And it's the same thing. And I learned this too when you get on stage. If you can get on stage, here's a trick, guys. You want to get on stage and own a live audience, get on stage and look at that person in the audience at the back, look him in the eyes, talk to that person at the back of the stage. And you'll notice that if you, and I know you guys, a lot of you guys put the show on in the background, but you'll notice that I'm often pointing right here because that's the camera, because I know that's where your eyes are, right? So it's these little tricks and tips that will help you get people to listen to you if you're starting and having your own live conversation. All right, so let's move into this. No, Jimmy, the belly has stopped rumbling. My belly's been rumbling for days, and Lauren's like, "What's up, man?" I'm like, I don't know. But guys, human-centric leadership is the art of placing people at the heart of decision-making. Consistency, balancing, empathy. And guys, empathy is not about just wah, wah, wah. No, that's empty. Right? So let's get into it. Number one, the college returner. A leader observed a 30-something mother hesitating repeatedly before seeking help by going back to school after a 15-year break. Instead of making assumptions, the leader listened and provided reassurance without lowering expectations, supporting personal growth and empowering, right? So one of the things that we want to do as a leader, easier said than done, is that idea of putting yourself into that person's shoes and supporting the personal growth while empowering their support, the pursuit of the excellence that they desire, right? Number two, the second story I want to get into, guys, is looking at inclusive remote leadership. More and more of us are leading teams remotely. It's hard. Are they doing something? Are they working? Are they sitting on the couch watching fucking Netflix? What are they doing? Here's what I'm going to encourage you not to do. Not to track metrics. Like, what, Keith? Well, how do I know if they're working? Well, if you're worried about that, you probably hired the wrong person. Yeah. If your biggest reality as a leader when you're leading remotely is wondering if they're working, then you need to go look in the mirror yourself. What I would invite you to consider is using empathy to foster that belonging while still holding everybody accountable to the goals. Here's the goals. I really want us to focus on the results. How can I help you get there? What obstacles can I remove to help you get to the results that we desire? Simple as that. And if you can't put trust in the person that you're encouraging them to do that, then you've hired the wrong person. Then the problem is your own self, not the person. Again, too many folks. Petro, I'll tell you, I'm talking to Petro right now, guys. In my experience, Johnny, too many folks don't look in their own mirror and they fire the human when actually they made the wrong decision themselves. What's that saying? Hire fast? No, hire slow, fire fast. Guys, don't hire children. Hire adults, encourage them, empower them, and then lead them. Number 3 on our list of transformational, of human-centric leadership, 5 stories of balancing empathy and excellence. Well, this one comes from Microsoft, the big old corporation of Microsoft. And this is really cool, actually. This is really neat because those of you that are my age, 135, and Petro's 175, so our age, which is when Satya Nadella, if you guys can remember, Bill Gates led the company for a while, Steve Ballmer led the company for a while, but when Satya came in, Microsoft transformed. The transformation, empathy was part of the business strategy. Satya is like, no, we're leading with empathy from now on. We're going to encourage care. We're going to encourage understanding across the organization. And let's put something on the table that sometimes we all get confused about. We learned about it with a guest a few weeks ago called tactical empathy. We don't always have to like the human that we're trying to be empathetic for. Think about a hostage situation. Think about a hostage negotiator. If Petro's negotiating with me, he's the hostage negotiator, and I am the bad guy. I'm locked up. Take care, Rufy. Take care, brother. I hope you're having fun at, I see you're getting after Rufy at your new spot there, brother. I got lots of love for you, man. I'm excited for you, pal. I'm excited for you. And yes, I see that. But as I was saying, if I'm the bad guy and Petro is trying to convince me to let my hostage out of the building, it's probably in Petro's best interest to show some empathy towards me. You're like, well, but Keith, you're the bad guy. Yeah, I am the bad guy. But Petro ain't getting me to do anything if he's not using a little bit of empathy, because at the end of the day, even though I'm bad, I'm still a human. I still have fears. I still get scared. I still cry. So the best way for him to convince me to do something might be to use tactical empathy. And we see it right now in the world of politics. Oh, Keith, hold on. Just saying, we might not agree with how our leaders are talking to other leaders around the world. It's actually not about that. If we can get the results that we want to get, let's focus on the results, not on what happens around that. Number 4, Google's Project Oxygen. Google discovered that its most effective managers were those who coached employees, cared about their well-being, and created a supportive culture, period. Number 5, empathy in digital change. When a team was anxious about the impact of AI on their jobs, a leader didn't dismiss their fears. Instead, they designed a hands-on training session. I'm going to speak in front of my team here. I'd like to think I did that with my team recently. Jimmy, please chime in here. Rahima, please chime in. I keep telling my team, encouraging, emphatically pushing them, you need to use these tools. I'm giving you the tools to use, because if you don't, you're going to get left behind. I'm a leader that's encouraging you to use them. I'm paying for them, use them. But if you're not going to use them, you're going to get left behind. And if you're not going to use them to the best abilities, you're going to get left behind. Because your job is going to get lost if you don't lean into it. True story. This is where I get really fucking passionate. That model that was released yesterday, Gemini 3, I can only imagine, nation. I can only imagine Gemini 4, Gemini 5. That is going to be messed up, actually. So the key takeaway, guys, human-centric leaders use genuine curiosity, strategic empathy, and clear accountability. And something that a good friend of mine with Shakin' Ray White, lots of love, brother, said to me, don't be afraid to do this. Inspect your expectations. I'll say it again. If you have a set of expectations, inspect them. See what could happen. Hey, Maya Reyes, has anybody ever inspected your expectations?
Morning, nation. If you keep calling yourself a night owl, I love you, but you might just have a software bug. This creator broke it down simple. Your brain's chasing dopamine at midnight. It's not your personality type. Then Kieran Drew gets called a fraud for talking about therapy because someone decided success has to look spotless. And on LinkedIn, we've got a chef staring at a dead Redbox machine, realizing one good idea doesn't guarantee relevance. Today in Community Corner, we're messing with 3 myths: your sleep identity, your success image, and your so-called genius idea.
Looking at the comments here, we got Petro jumping in here. He says, It's easy to find scapegoats, but harder to look in the mirror. It's true. And yeah, you're right. It's often the case of both. Yeah, and actually, it's funny because if we reflect upon that video last week, Jimmy, when we had that, was it Marty dropped the video with the teacher and the student? The teacher telling the student this, and the student telling the teacher to fuck off. Probably in that situation, they both were the dicks in that situation. And then, hey, good time, Charlie. I think you're listening. This is funny. Petro says, negotiating with KB. I'm first going to at least read half. We all know John Petro is famous for only reading half the books. Yeah, 100%. So if you want to go into his library, you can only see half of it. Yeah, it's actually true. Hey, Petro, I think I want to get an image of you and get you onto the new website we're building. I'm first going to at least read half of It's actually, Johnny, I only want half of your image. Hey, Jimmy, when we get John back on the show on Friday, we just want to show half of John. That's it. We want a half of just John's face. Negotiating with Kiwi. I'm first going to at least read half of Never Split the Difference, negotiating as if your life depended on it by Chris Voss. Yes, Chris Voss. I'd like to get him on the show, actually. I've been following him. Petro, if you have any connections there, let's work him, man. I'd love to get Chris Voss on the show because maybe if you read the first half, I can read the second half. We can have him on and we can do a joint interview. Because we know John can't read. Jon Andersen can't read. Jon Andersen's got fucking full of dyslexia. So you, me, and Andersen can interview Voss. I'll read the first. You read the first half of the book. I'll read the back half of the book. Andersen can be the guy pretty flexing for us, and we'll have a conversation with Voss. So there it is, Petro. There's my invitation out to you. Let's get him on the show. Let's have a conversation with Chris Voss, Keith Bilous, Doc John Petrocelli, and our own handsome Jon Andersen. But before we do that, YouTube. We're going to get to the community corner. Maya Reyes just threw us here a few moments ago. YouTube, being a night owl isn't your identity. It's a software bug. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Really? It's a software bug, yeah? Yeah? Well, you told yourself that you're a night owl, but it's just who you are. But what if it's actually not? Creator Simple actually explains that night owl tendencies are usually a neurochemical delay, not a personality type. I appreciate you, Sully. Dude, you are awesome, man. Kenneth Lowe, show on Mornings Lab 5 months ago, so impactful behind the... Yes. Sully, remember that conversation with Kenneth Lowe? Jimmy, remember that one? Oh, man, he had a bunch of sadness in his life. And awesome, Petro. Yeah, let's do that, brother. I'm seriously, you and me will interview him. We'll have you, me, and Andersen. We'll have him on the show, and we'll get Chris Voss, and that'd be awesome. But Sully, I'm with you, man. That was a great show with Kenneth Lowe. And Jimmy, if you remember, he went through some tragedy in his life, and what got him through that tragedy was his commitment to his non-negotiables. And we're talking YouTube. You trained your brain to associate nighttime with dopamine. That is fixable. The protocol shifts sleep in 50-minute microphrases every few days. It's funny because I've been kind of working on massaging my sleep times too. If I can get 10 minutes later, 10 minutes earlier, but working within that predetermined time every single day. Start that dopamine cutoff 90 minutes before bed. I don't agree with this stuff actually. So this is stuff that I think is fucking hooey fooey. Well, you got to find what works for you. So I don't agree with turning your phone off 3, 4, 5,000 hours before you go to bed. No, if you want to read your phone until you go to bed, do it. True. If it's going to help you sleep better, do it. Helps me sleep better. So I don't agree with that. Maybe the science says that today. I'm a fan of doing what works best for you. All right, Substack. We're going to get over to Substack, guys. We're spending a lot of time on Substack, these guys. Hey, InsideTheLab.live. Yep, our Substack platform. We just relaunched it last week, leaning into how to build your own live show experience. Kieran Drew got called a fraud. Did you imagine getting called a fraud? Oh, fuck. I guess that's one of the things, Jimmy, by being just consistently authentic and just kind of standing up here metaphorically naked and just offering everything else out. You actually can't be called a fraud because this is just me. So if somebody's like, yeah, Bilous, you're a fraud. Well, if I'm choosing to act this way and be a fraud, I don't know, actually. So yeah, there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of power in being a real, authentic self because nobody can really accuse you of being called a fraud. In many ways, it's why I'm so committed to the lifestyle that I try to live so you guys can't call me a hypocrite. Hey, Bilous, you're telling me to go to fucking sleep on time, yet you're staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning. I know. I got the same struggles. Hey, Bilous, you're telling me to stay out of the fridge. Yet you're in the fucking pantry at 9:30 digging into the shit. I know. True story. But hey, Kieran Drew, you got called fraud. Reader said his talk of therapy and personal struggle didn't match his image of freedom. So here's what Kieran wants you to know. Visible success doesn't equal internal perfection. Freedom, well, we know it has a price. Self-awareness requires effort, tough choices, deep self-work. The more someone projects flawlessness publicly, the more skeptical you should be. It's the entire reason I am so passionate about our live morning show platform. Because of what I know with AI and because of what I know that I can build. Yes, nation, I'm not just a handsome chief. I'm not just, nice face, nice hair, nice eyes behind the glasses, nice svelte physique. I'm more than that, you guys. I'm more than that. Jimmy, I can roll the fucking sleeves up and dig in and build shit. And when I see the shit that I can build, it just reminds me that a lot of fakery out there. We started the conversation today with deepfakes and fakery. There's power more than ever in being real, in being a real human being. It's true. Yeah, 100% true. So let's go over to LinkedIn, guys. Innovation isn't a trophy. It's a debt you pay forever. Matthew Bodin, a culinary innovator, saw a wrecked Redbox machine. Oh, is that like Netflix? It made him think about stagnation and irrelevance. His message, brilliance doesn't guarantee relevance. If you have a good idea, it doesn't entitle you to recognition. No one is owed anything just for having a spark. Oh, you mean just for having a fucking breath? Innovation, ongoing responsibility, not a one-time accomplishment. Even classics, burgers, pizza, they only remain iconic because people keep reinventing them while respecting the roots. Think about that for a second. It's just like that conversation I heard with Mark Andreessen from Andreessen Horowitz, the investor. The moment you think your product is done, you're done. Think about that for a second. It goes back to our racing analogy we talk about all the time, John Petro. Right? If you've stopped, because Petro's from the Carolinas, I'm sure he's been to a few NASCAR races in his lifetime. I have. Loved the sport. The moment you stop changing the lug nuts because you think you've gone fast enough, well, you're done. Because the guy over there is still turning the lug nuts to get his car faster. So that innovation, guys, is ongoing. Never done. In your business, in your life, innovating with your relationships. We go through ruts in our relationship with our wives, with our girlfriends. Innovate. Find a new way to connect. Because if you aren't actively pushing your ideas or your innovation, you might just become obsolete. So nation, I got an invitation for you to stay hungry, to stay restless, never get comfortable or you're fade. Hey, Maya, do you find yourself ever staying hungry or staying restless? You ever find yourself getting comfortable or fading? Maya Reyes, let's wrap up today's Community Corner this morning on Mornings in the Lab.
If you hate your mornings, don't redesign your whole life tonight. Pick one tiny protocol move and start there. If you feel like a fraud because you struggle, you're not broken. You're just finally telling the truth. And if you're coasting on one old win, that's not legacy. That's you quietly choosing to stall out. So nation, what are you hiding or postponing that actually needs a boring, unglamorous rep tomorrow morning? You don't need a perfect plan, you need a next step. Community Corner out, back to the lab for the deep work.
All right, guys. Hey, that's a wrap on International Men's Day, Jimmy. Hey, guys, send a text to a buddy today. Maybe call your doctor. Maybe send a note to your dad. But today's just a day where, and you all know if you guys listen to me enough, I don't like taking these individual days out of the calendar and making a big deal about them. But I do host a morning show. We always need things to talk about. So maybe today's the day you'll reach out to somebody. With Shaking, good time. I see you out there, brother. Good to have you out there. Peace, pal. Lots of love from me to you, man. Lots of love. Lot of love here. This morning we walked through Warren Buffett's no regret filter. Guys, what would your obituary say about you right now? Are you proud of it? Are you proud of what somebody's writing about you right now? Because if you're not, maybe today's the day you make that change. I don't know. Maybe it is. And hey, the world has more AI deepfakes than ever before. We talked about the stolen reels, and Facebook's launched a new tool that enables you to look at reels that may or may not be you. And we had an awesome guest on the show today who was nothing but and everything about discipline. Loved it. That's why I invited him on the show. Because anybody that loses 100 pounds, regardless of how you do it, is disciplined. Love transformation stories. Kevin Tejada, if you're listening, you are welcome back here anytime, man. Anytime. We got practical 10 men's health secrets. And we closed the loop today on the Stoic rule, because as we head into the holiday season, some of you guys are going to be sitting down in conversations wondering, what the fuck am I doing here? Why is Uncle John, why is Auntie Susie saying this? Why are they talking about the guy with orange hair in this way? Well, gave you some things to think about as you go into those conversations. We talked human-centric leadership. We got into the community corner with Maya Reyes, and tomorrow we're going to come back with even more value. Car DJ versus backstreet DJ. We got Bjorn Hagerman coming back tomorrow. I'm not even going to tease why, because I want you guys to come back, but I invited him back for a reason, a very specific reason, because of something he shared with me after we met and did the show last week. And I was like, are you fucking serious? You need to come back, because we're going to unpack what really happened last week when Bjorn was on the show and what it unlocked for him and what it might unlock for you. So tomorrow is a great show, man. Bjorn Hagerman coming back into the lab, and we're going to break down the invisible habit that's quietly dragging down your productivity and all that stuff. So on behalf of Jimmy, Kevin, Tejada, Rahima, Melissa's sleeping today. Day off for Neiman. Jimmy, who the hell knows what Neiman is doing today? Maybe picking up soup off the floor? Yeah. We had our production meeting yesterday, and Melissa told us she was having a nice big meal, and then she went quiet for a few hours. And then we learned that the few hours included the dinner all over the floor. So maybe she's still cleaning the mess up, Jim. But guys, I had a lot of fun with you all. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did today. You know where to find us. In 22 hours from now, we call this show The Big Show. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends. I think Marty's back here tomorrow. Most importantly, guys, 7:30 Eastern time. Before that, our good buddy Matt Roof gets after it early. 7:30 Eastern time. Kindness Rising right here on the network. Petra, I appreciate you, man. Sully, I appreciate you. Good Time, I appreciate you. Season Strength, lots of love. And everybody out there, lots of love from the Handsome Chief. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, live, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends.